All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys could tell in the last video, I was out at LSFEST East in Bowling Green, Kentucky for Holly LSFEST. But we're back now. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a little bit of work, what's going on in the shop. We've been working on Jim's 3100. And today I'm going to show you guys how to install my firewalls in these trucks. This is the 47 to 54. Sorry guys, this is the 47 to 54 Chevy 3100 firewall panels that I offer on my website, MurilloFabWorks.com. And as you guys can tell, they're pretty slick, you guys. They're a lot better than some of the other brands that you find out there. The design, I took a little bit of time and I figured out what I like and what I think looks smooth for these vehicles. And this is what I came up with, you guys. So as you guys can tell, they are nearly a direct bolt fit up. And yeah, I'm gonna show you guys how to do them. So what I'm gonna start out with first, you guys, is I'm gonna go ahead and trim this lip back. As you guys can tell, I kind of got a jump on this for you guys, but if you guys have been watching the other videos, you guys have seen I kind of have a whole mess of stuff to work on here. So I went ahead and replaced the kick panel, the wheel arch, and the outer cowl on both sides. This one I still need to blend out, but I'm going to go ahead and work on a little something different today. I just finished that up. Let me take you around real quick and show you guys what's up. So as you guys can tell, the passenger side is all wrapped up. As we move around to the driver's side, I just finished the driver's side up. And yeah, don't mind this little dent here, guys. This is from the lead work. It'll get wrapped up in body work, but unfortunately I can't get up into that area. Even when the inner kick panel was out and the outer cowl panel was out, I still really didn't have access to it. There's a door hinge pocket right there. So yeah, guys, definitely coming along, but let me get you back over here on the stand and give me 1 second and I'll grab the other panel. So again, here's what the other side looks like. Don't mind that they're a little rusty, guys. When you guys buy these off the website, they will not be rusty. I'm fighting a humidity battle here in the shop. It's not the best. Bare sheet metal turns to rust almost overnight if it's anywhere near the swamp cooler. So it's something I'm working on, looking on a way to circumvent that problem. But all these are is just surface rust, a quick DA, gets them nice and clean. And when your guys' panels ship out, they will be perfectly clean, guys. So don't worry about that. But again, here's what they look like. Well, they're all mounted up, and they will get welded along this whole seam. As you can tell, that's why I ground back this area right here, so that I have a nice clean surface to weld on. But the first step that I'm going to do, guys, is go ahead and trim this lip back, because we don't want that showing on the inside of the cab. So I'm going to go ahead and flush it with the line that pretty much ground out for us, and that the outer cowl shapes. So I'll go ahead and start that, guys. I'll put that on a time lapse, get this cut out, and then I'll come back to you guys when we're ready to start tacking stuff in. All right, you guys, so now you guys can see what I'm talking about here, how they just literally direct fit. There is a little bit of issue here on the side where it's kind of pushed in a little bit, as well as up top. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll work it across. If I have enough space, what I'll do is I'll put a body clamp in here. Let me see if I have any handy. some of these guys. If you guys haven't heard of these, it's just called body clamps. Pick them up at Harbor Freight. You can get them online. If you literally just type in body clamps, they come with a little steel block. And what you do is you'll just stick them. For this case, I would want to come through the back. And what you'll do is you'll just run them out to where they're loose enough. You put them through like this. Not always where the heat is. And then you'll just tighten them down, guys. And what that's going to do is this is going to help flush this panel up to the original material that I've also got clamped right here. You want to be careful because this is a double layer, guys, so you want to make sure that you're actually on the double layer, so that way when you weld it, your blade is going to be nice and smooth, guys. So again, like I said, anywhere that has a little bit of on spacing, this one doesn't have enough space to stick a clamp in there, so what I'm going to do is I'll just put my gloves on, then I'll get them flushed up, and then I'll go ahead and put a couple of tacks in here and move my way along the panel. Again, I'll put you guys on time lapse. I'll get this knocked out real quick, and then I'll come back and talk to you about the process before I start welding the whole thing up and doing my stacked tacks to get this thing all blended in. The last step of this will be metal finishing it. I'll go ahead and grind all my weld down, blend it all out, smooth it all out, and then I'll go ahead and DA it. And then from there, we can go ahead and spray it with some Seymour paint, E-coat, so that way we don't get any more rust, you guys, and we don't have to deal with that. A good idea too, on top of all this, guys, and I think I'm going to do it, is once I get this panel tacked in a little more, I'm going to actually put a tube right here on the end and go across both sides, so that way I know my firewall is flat. That's one thing we do want here. We don't want, wavy panels everywhere, none of that. It makes bodywork a nightmare, and it makes me look like a dummy. So we'll go ahead and get that knocked out as well. Once I get these things tacked in, I can put my tube across, hammer up where I need, hammer in where I need, and get it just perfectly flat, you guys. I'll go ahead and run like a small tiny tack on the edge here to tack it to the tube, as well as on this side. But for the most part, we're not going to do much tacking on this panel with the tube across. So just so you guys have an idea. Otherwise, you'll end up having to metal finish the whole panel. You'll put scratch marks when you don't need them. And yeah, overall, just complicate the job. So let me go ahead and keep tacking on this, guys, and then I'll go ahead and come back to you guys here shortly. So. Alright guys, so I'm back with my tube now. I measured from this edge to this edge. My number came out to 53 inches. So I went ahead, I cut my tube 53 inches. And all we're gonna do is, like I said, we're just gonna put it to the edge here, put it to the other edge, and this is gonna flush our firewall. This piece is very straight, so I can go ahead, tack it to my edge, tack it like once here, maybe once here, same on this side, same on this side, and then on the edge. And this is gonna go ahead and flatten out the firewall, so everything that goes up to the firewall, every edge over here, every edge right here, everything is gonna be flat all the way across the panel. Obviously, this tube will come off when we're done, but as far as fabrication goes, this tube will stay on here until we're completely done with the firewall. That means toe boards as well, so that way none of our angles, anything like that, will become off by getting rid of the tube. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the tube in now, guys, and then I'm gonna start tacking the rest of the stuff up. I've got to obviously build this gap right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on that first, and then I'll be back to you guys when we're ready to start blending.
Discard. Discard. Discard.
Alright, you guys, so now that I've got a lot of the welding done, I'm going to go ahead and let it cool down a little bit. And then I'm just going to knock down my welds enough to where I can hammer and dolly and get this firewall back flattened out. If you look, there is just a little bit of warpage down on this end over here. It's a little bit low right here and high right here. So I'm going to let it cool down. I'm going to go grab some lunch, you guys. And then when I get back, we're going to start hammering dollying and knocking the weld down first. And then we'll go ahead and hammer and dolly. And then I'll show you guys how to metal finish this thing out. All right, guys, I'm back from lunch. Everything is nice and cool. Everything is settled down. The warpage kind of has moved its way out and cooled back down. You know, with MIG welding, you get a little bit of heat, a little bit of expansion and whatnot. It actually looks fairly good. There's still a couple areas that I'm going to work on. But to knock down the weld, guys, first off, I'm going to start with the electric grinder with the benchmark abrasives, ceramic, resin fiber disc, guys. This is a 36 grit, and all I'm going to do is just barely knock down the weld, get it to where I can work it a little bit, and then from there, I'll start going up in grits to a little finer of a grit, and then from there, I'll come back with the die grinder. Same thing, couple of light grits, and then from there, guys, we'll DA it and we should be done. So I'm gonna go ahead and start grinding. I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse, and then I'll be back to you guys when I switch over to the die grinder. So stay tuned. Guys, so I jumped the gun a little bit and I forgot to stop the recording, but you guys were able to see in the video, I explained to you exactly how I said, you know, we start with the die grinder, knock the weld down, or the electric grinder, knock the weld down. Then we move on to the die grinder and start going down in our grits, getting rid of our scratch marks that the previous grit leaves behind. As you go through a finer grit, it allows you to kind of work those imperfections out with either your weld or whatever, you know, whatever imperfections you may have. Then we knock it all down. Once we've done our highest grit in die grinder in a Rolox, we go ahead, move to our DA. We DA it with one grit. I use 120, knock it all down. Then for extra sexy looks, guys, I just hit it with a Scotch-Brite pad, and this is your result, you guys. Let me flip you guys around and I'll walk you guys around and show you a little bit of the before and a little bit of the after, guys. So guys, like I was saying, here is your before. After we welded it, we hit it once with a 36 grit on a resin fiber disc, enough to knock your weld down just a little bit, kind of get you a lot closer to home. This, guys, is when you do the whole metal finishing process. This is what you get, guys. So obviously I still have a little bit left here to do for you guys, but I didn't want to bore you guys with a whole long video, longer than it needed to be. So again, you'll do this on both sides, you'll get it nice and clean, and then guys, check that out. She's just about ready for some primer. I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up, and then I'll go ahead and e-coat the firewall just because I don't want it to get all rusty again. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. And again, like I said, guys, these exact firewall panels are available on my website down below, www.murillofabworks.com. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you guys soon.